If you're a vegan looking to live the nomad capitalist lifestyle, the idea of moving overseas for more freedom and lower taxes may be concerning simply for the fact that you're not sure if you're going to be able to find vegan food. After all, many of the high-tax countries that you may be leaving are the ones that are most vegan-friendly, where the vegan culture is growing. And number one rated Israel on the vegan list isn't exactly a low-tax country itself. But after talking to numerous friends around the world, after reading lots of articles and doing lots of research, I have come up with a list of 5 of the most tax-friendly countries for vegans. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson, and here at Nomad Capitalist, we help 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs and investors legally go where you're treated best. You can learn more at nomadcapitalist.com. And as someone who not only helps people go offshore, but has done it himself, ate my own dog food, as it were, I understand the human side of this. And I understand that if you are a vegan, for example, you might be concerned that leaving the US or some other high-tax country, you might be concerned with where can I find good vegan food around the world. And so I've gone through and found countries in no particular order that meet the bill, according to friends of mine who are indeed vegan themselves. And the first country is a personal favorite of mine. It is Malaysia. And what I found was that, not only is Malaysia such an international place, as we have often talked about, but you've got a lot of natural vegan foods. You've got over 200 vegan restaurants just in Kuala Lumpur. I love eating Indian food, really authentic Indian food in Kuala Lumpur. And so a lot of Indian dishes you can have are vegetarian or vegan. And so Malaysia definitely fits the bill. Lots of different options. And what's interesting from Malaysia is, among Southeast Asia, certainly there are many places in Southeast Asia where people go and they have their own expat communities where you may have more of these kind of vegan foods, like a Bali or something like that. But in the broader spectrum, if you get out of that, do you have an entire country that is vegan? I think Malaysia, being more developed among Southeast Asian countries, they have a bit more of a proclivity to that vegan lifestyle. Lots of meat in some dishes, but also lots of vegan options as well. Next door, Thailand also rated very highly. And so you've got almost 2,000, I'm told, vegan restaurants across Thailand. 500 of those alone are in Bangkok. So you've got a lot of different choices, obviously a lot of expats in Chiang Mai and Phuket. You've got options there all over the place. And again, a culture that's a bit more open to veganism. One of the things that was brought up is fish sauce. Sometimes it's an issue with the fish sauce where don't put the fish sauce on. So if you're a vegan, you might not want that, or you won't want that. So that can be an issue sometimes. And certainly from folks I've known who've spent time in Thailand, you do have to communicate in certain settings in a very basic way. So, whether it's not so spicy or no fish sauce, that can be a little challenging. But overall, Thailand did rate relatively highly on the list. Now, let's talk about a tax-free country. Malaysia, Thailand, tax-friendly, but the UAE, totally tax-free in terms of income tax, all those kinds of personal taxes. And, what's interesting is, as a Muslim country, it seems that there are more vegan options. You have a lot of things with chickpeas, lots of hummus. One particular person that I talked to said, really Muslim countries they found to be the best. Now, you also have a lot of Indians in the UAE and Dubai running Indian restaurants, again, for the same benefits as in KL. But you've got a lot of just naturally vegan-friendly dishes in the UAE. And, like Malaysia, to a certain extent like Thailand, the UAE offers any kind of entrepreneur or investor a pretty straightforward path to be a resident. So you don't have to worry about doing visa runs in and out. You can just set up your company, you can buy your real estate, whatever you want to do, and you can live in the UAE and enjoy all of the vegan foods. Now, next country was actually voted number 2 in the world by PETA, and that is Singapore. Obviously, a very popular expat destination, very popular wealth haven, place that we've talked about as part of our global citizen sandwich, where you'll keep your wealth in Singapore, you'll live in Malaysia, and you'll invest in a place like a Cambodia. So we've got 2 of the 3 parts of the sandwich covered. Singapore, obviously very international place. People have, in some cases, started to look at veganism as a way to be more conscious. Lots of different options abound there. Lots of, again, Indian food, lots of different, so there's some Middle Eastern foods. lots of just vegan specialty restaurants. So a lot of options that you can take advantage of in Singapore. If you want to start a business, you can immigrate to Singapore. It's not nearly as easy as it once was. If you want to invest, a couple $1 million, you can also do it. So there's a couple different ways into Singapore, or you could just make it as it is for me, a focus city. You can spend part of your time in Singapore, live somewhere else, like in a Malaysia, like in a Thailand, something like that, and then come in for a wider variety of vegan foods every once in a while. Now, the number one country from some people that I talk to, and if you agree or if you disagree, leave a comment below if you are vegan or if you've had experience with this, is Switzerland, actually. So the one country in Europe that makes the list, Switzerland, because of the fact that you have a growing cultural awareness of vegetarianism and veganism in Switzerland. I heard one statistic that seemed a little surprising that said that almost 1/3 of the Swiss are getting rid of meat from their diets. And as a result, you have, for example, the largest grocery chain in Switzerland, which has adopted a whole vegan line. You have vegan restaurants. You've just got an increasing acceptance. I think especially for Western expats who go to Switzerland, probably a little bit easier communication of, hey, can I get this, but can you leave this out of it? Or can you make this adjustment? It's more of a cultural fit for a place like Switzerland versus Thailand, for example, where they're just used to kind of bringing you your dish and they're not used to a lot of modifications. So Switzerland meets the bill for that, as well as for an increasing line of vegan-friendly products. So I happen to not be a vegan, but I know people have asked me, Andrew, this is a concern for us. Where should we live? I certainly think that I'm more conscious about my diet and what I eat and than I was just living in the United States. So now I'm out in the world. I get influenced by so many perspectives. I'd like to hear yours. Leave a comment below if you have experience with these places. If there's one that you think I'm missing, certainly I mentioned in the very beginning, Israel has been rated very highly. Not exactly a place that screams low tax, so we left it out for this list. But leave a comment below if there's a place that you wanted to add to or one that you wanted to make me aware of. How can Nomad Capitalist help you? 4 ways. Number 1, subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to make sure you get our new video every day. Number 2, get a copy of Nomad Capitalist, the book. You'll learn a lot of my personal experiences over a dozen years of studying this stuff, as well as exactly some of the strategies that you can use to build your Nomad Capitalist plan. Number 3, if you're not sure where to start, but you want to come and learn from my team and I, you want to come and mingle with like-minded people, learn more about our live conference, Nomad Capitalist Live. It's coming up soon. And number 4, if you want some help right now because you've got a burning issue, you need something solved, you want to lower your taxes, get a second passport, or build the Nomad Capitalist lifestyle of your dreams, go to nomadcapitalist.com and click on Become a Client.